You bet I'm angry! Listen, I know that people regurgitate this information pretty much every time they try to talk about space-time. Unfortunately, it's a lot of lies or misunderstandings, and complete misinterpretation of what actually happened during certain experiments. I'll be back. I just jumped forward into the future. According to my clock, a minute has passed. Maybe. I don't remember. I think I was actually pretty fast. Meaning time hasn't even moved yet. That's nice. So, what happens in this video? First of all, I should have canceled the advertisements or whatever. But generally speaking, they talk about the idea of time dilation, the twin paradox. Fuck, let's just watch it.
Space-time. What you experience as time passing and your life happening is actually you moving through the time dimension.
And we need the beginning.
You're going forward through time 1 second every second. Congratulations, you're a time traveller. A bit lame, but let's start here to get to the fun of real time travel to ride on dinosaurs and high-five Einstein. Time isn't really a thing that passes, but a dimension, a direction you can move in. We think our universe is...
There are two postulates for how time works. We have not proven either one of them. The first is that time is a dimension that we can just move forward and backward to. And obviously there is no side to side. There's no like alternative stuff happening. You only move into the past or into the future. That idea. And the other idea is that time does not actually exist. But what happens is what we call the continuing reaction. Basically, there is no such thing as time passing. But all that actually happens is everything that has been set in motion is now processing, doing stuff. And all of that is how everything ends up progressing forward. And because that, a lot of hand-wavy stuff, but basically time in that format really is the same for everyone. Now, the science hippies want to tell you that, well, it's just...
four-dimensional with 3 spatial and 1 time dimensions smooshed together into a fancy thing we call space-time. What you experience as time passing and your life happening is actually you moving through the time dimension. And this dimension is a bummer. While you can go forward, backward, left and right, up and down in the space dimensions,
The ironic thing is that we're not even apparently we're not obviously we are not even experiencing now. We are experiencing the delay from all the signals getting to our brains, and then we experience life. So
In time, you can only go forward. You only get older, never younger. You can't make detours. But this is an illusion. You have far more control over how you move through time. To explain how this actually works, without making a maths video, we have to make a lot of physicists grumpy, so please keep in mind that we're simplifying and lying a bit. Okay, so there's...
Okay, simplifying is one thing. If you're going to lie, you need to say exactly what it is that you're lying about. You can theorize all you want, but lying, like, you should explain that this is a lie. How do you even explain that this is a lie? Why do you even mention lies?
Very strange rule. Everything in our universe moves at the speed of light through four-dimensional space-time. Your speed through...
No. Everything moves at the speed of reaction, which is not the speed of light, but whatever.
Space-time is the sum of your separate speeds through time and space. It's impossible for you to stay still. Even if you're not moving through space dimensions, you're moving through...
The thing is that light has... There's such a thing as, like, measurements of time passing that are faster than light. Like, you can always measure something to a smaller and smaller degree if you want to.
Time dimension, blasting face first into the future. You can slow down in the time dimension by moving faster through the space dimensions, but in total, you will always move at the speed of light through space.
If you're going faster through space, and you're said to be wait, hold on. Pay attention to what he just said.
If you're blasting face first into the future, you can slow down in the time dimension by moving faster through the space dimensions.
If you go faster in space, suddenly you're going slower through time. Meaning, somehow you're going to age less. The way they say it is totally dumb, but what they try to mean by that is that the faster you go, you will apparently age less or experience time passing for you less because you're going super speedy. It's dumb. It's also that there was a TED Talk about the twin paradox. They got a lot of maths wrong in that video, besides the fact that their entire theory is bogus. But
in total, you will always move at the speed of light through space-time. If you could...
Hey, I'll shit on any TED Talk. I don't care who the fuck made it.
Somehow truly stand still in space, you'd still move through time at the speed of light. And the other way round. Photons, light particles, move at the speed of light through space. They don't experience any time passing because their speed in that time dimension is zero.
No. Because a photon leaving...
In the time dimension, they're frozen in place. If you see light on Earth, from the photon's perspective, it was just on the surface of the sun and then suddenly crashed into your eye with nothing happening in between.
Wrong. It takes 8 minutes for light to get to you and your eye. So therefore, it would say, oh, I just passed Venus. Oh, I just passed Mercury. Whichever one... Shut up. Oh, I just entered an atmosphere. That's an eye. Only it would happen a lot slower than that, because you would enter the atmosphere, Okay, okay, you would enter the atmosphere, and that's an eye. That's really fast. But the passing the Mercury and Venus part would be like a few minutes. It's like, oh, nothing happened. Minute, that's a planet. Few minutes more, that's a planet. Few minutes more. Now we're here on Earth. Seconds or nanoseconds. Yeah, nanoseconds from then, but it would be able to notice blip, blip, boom.
Remember, we're telling a science story here. In real life, things are more complicated.
Yeah.
For one, it's impossible to truly stand still relative to space itself. You can only be standing still relative to other things in space. And you
Well, we can't, because we're in a thing that's all moving. If you were to construct a situation in which you could possibly move stationary relative to all of space, you're not moving in the galaxy, you're not moving in the interstellar, you're not moving in anything. Somehow. If you accomplish that, meh.
can't really define a reference frame for photons as we just did. For details, check out our sources. But now,
Yeah, I wonder why you can't define a reference frame for light.
to our story. Okay, so everything in the universe.
Not to mention the fact that if you simply have a weird structure, that light would just be bouncing in that for infinity, and it would notice all the different little times that it bounced, and it would get very bored because it's expecting to die. It just hits something, but then it just keeps bouncing around perfectly forever.
Moves at the same breathtaking speed, but this speed is split between space and time,
No.
which leads to all sorts of wacky things, and where we can see time travel happen. Real and easy time travel. When a bus drives past you, it's moving a little bit faster through space than you are, so it moves slower through time than you. But what?
Reference. My comment. And my reaction comment. There was a test done by 2 planes and a stationary clock on the ground. The first plane was going in the same direction as the orbit of the rotation of the Earth, and the other clock was going in the opposite direction against the rotation of the Earth. One of them, the stationary clock, of course, has no discrepancy. The clock going with the rotation of the Earth What did I say? Did I say it was positive and the other one was negative? I don't remember itself, but the clocks had 2 different time discrepancies. One was forward in time, the other one was backward in time. You can understand, this is the exact same reason why in Superman movie, the guy goes around the Earth very fast, and you assume that he did it enough, the cumulative effect of going back in time actually led him to go back minutes in time, which means he had to go like 20 times the speed of light, which physically would have done a lot to the Earth by making some rings and like making some weird shit that's gonna, like, the tidal forces of that would probably fuck up the planet a lot. Why the fuck am I getting notifications? I turned them off. Anyway, the point is, one plane, both of these planes are going the same speed, mind you. So that experiment proved that apparently going around the planet and you end up with atomic clocks that are suddenly one is forward and the other one's backwards by nanoseconds or something. Why would one be forward and the other one be backwards if simply going faster relative to the stationary clock didn't make it so that the effect was the same on both planes? Why wouldn't they both be just forwards compared to the stationary clock, or backwards? Why would that one be forward and the other one be backwards? I asked them to explain this. I don't care if they explain this. Do your research, honey. Because you didn't. Because the force of the orbit itself, okay, when you're going with the orbit, you're experiencing less force. Also, that same trip going around the planet is going to take less time. Going with the planet's orbit, it's going to take more time. Irrelevant, because going the same amount of speed, if you start at one point, you end at one point, you have a certain amount of distance that you're traveling, you would think that you would have no actual difference in the length of time of your trip and all of that. But you would still experience a greater force going with the planet's orbit, a lesser force going with the planet's orbit, and a greater force going against the planet's orbit. Right? It's the same as if you're going towards the wind or the same direction as the wind. Right? You feel more force when you're going towards the wind, when it's hitting you. When the wind's behind you, you feel it helping you. The same thing is happening on these planes. Literally. The planes are having one force of wind. I don't know what the fuck happened with the wind of the planes. That's not the thing that matters. The orbit and the rotation of the Earth is the thing that changed everything. Relative to where they are in space, for example, their actual trajectories are completely different. If you were to map it out and be like, well, they're going around, both of them are going around the sun at similar rates, but one of them is both of them at some point are going opposite direction of the sun, because at some point they end up at that part of the planet, unless, well, actually no. Good question. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. Also, the orbit is tilted. So it's like we're going around the sun on this tilted spin. Right? That doesn't matter. It takes them like a day or so to do this test or whatever. The point is that both planes took the same amount of time to get there. It's the force of the orbit. It changed the force affected by the clock. Affecting the clock. It's like G-forces. So I don't know. It's like if you're Like if you're on a treadmill and you move in the same direction as the treadmill, you don't feel as much as if you were to be going the opposite direction of the treadmill. Or would you? Which one would give you the more forces? That's an interesting question. Because being on that treadmill, going backwards at the same, like, what was it, 150 miles an hour or something? Plane or something? I don't know. It was around 100, 150 miles an hour plane. Both of them went the same speed, just opposite directions. It's like, it was weird. But the point is, the effect of the clocks was one was positive and one was negative. This is bogus.
How it's usually worded, the bus is moving slower through time relative to you.
Fake news.
While this makes things feel like weird physics magic, it's very simple. Move faster through
Lie.
space, go slower in time. Move slower through space, go faster in time.
Ipso facto lie.
And if you had another person moving way faster or slower than you, both end up traveling different distances in the time dimension. The story that's usually
Literally, the only thing that changed how the clocks work was the force applied because of how they were moving. One was moving with the rotation of the Earth, and the other one was going the opposite way. It wasn't the distance, it wasn't the speed, it wasn't anything else, it was the force. Which can be considered maybe a gravity well, and gravity is said to be a thing that affects time. It isn't. It's the fact that gravity affects the dynamics of the clock itself. That's all it does.
told to demonstrate this is to get twins, force one of them into a rocket against their will, shoot them through space super fast while the other twin chills on Earth. And because one twin moves very fast through space while the other moves slow.
Twin Paradox was a TED Talk. It was a lot of bad math. They somehow said that a 11 light year journey would take 11 years in a ship that goes 82% the speed of light. How? You don't move 80 light years going 82% the speed of light and only take 11. You don't move 11 light years away going 82% the speed of light and end up taking an 11-year journey. That is not how that works. Right? It's like saying 100 kilometers, right, an hour, and you're expected to get there in an hour if you're moving 80 kilometers an hour. That's really simple math. It's going to take you a percentage longer. They did it wrong. I don't know how they did it wrong. I swear I made a video about the TED Talk. Fuck, I want to look it up now. TED Twin Paradox. Yeah, this fucking video. Sorry. Fake news, false information, lies, misunderstandings, mainly misunderstandings, but also bad math. I was disgusted when I saw this video. Because it means Einstein is stupid. But also, no, what they said in the video was stupid. I don't give a shit what Einstein said. And if Einstein said what they're saying, then Einstein's stupid. I don't give a shit. That's just reality of the situation. So, the thing that they said, that was the dumbest thing that they said in the video, like I said, was that you would go 11 light years and at 82% light, 82 or something like that percent light speed of light, it would take you 11 years to do that journey. No, the fuck it wouldn't. No, the fuck it wouldn't. Take you like 13 years or something. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been years since How long ago was that? 4 years ago. Make a retraction, you fuck.
On Earth, they move at different speeds through time. When the rocket finally gets home, they're no longer the same age, and the younger space twin is ready to start years of therapy for being abducted by theoretical physicists. This is the twin paradox, and it makes perfect sense within the rules of the universe.
No.
If you want to learn more about...
You have a false understanding of the twin paradox and how that works. No, you have the correct understanding of how the twin paradox is said to have worked. It doesn't happen in reality, and you're believing it, which makes you bad at doing the checking of the math of everyone else. You should know better. Don't just regurgitate the crap that you learn from freaking TED Talks. Analyze it yourself. Do the math. I don't care what you say to us about however you present it. You don't have to say all the math that you did, but do the damn math yourself and say the correct thing.
The paradoxes of time, we made a video about it, but in a nutshell, you're using time dilation. The fact that your position in time is subjective and only true for yourself.
Well,
with sufficiently fast rockets, you could get as far as you want into the future. Technically, this
sufficiently fast rockets. And then later on they say if you go faster than light, suddenly you're going backwards in time. Wait, you can't do both. You're not going fast enough that you're going to go forward in time faster sooner. And you're not going faster than the speed of light. Right? Somehow moving near the speed of light, you're going to go forward in time. So, any faster than that, you go backwards in time.
Where you can witness the end of the universe or look at the final thing that will ever happen. We also made videos about that.
Okay, you did make videos about the final thing that will ever happen, and that was interesting. Although, wow. So why would I go look at it when you've already explained what would happen?
We should mention that there's another way to jump forward in time. Massive objects bend space-time, causing time to go slower near them. On Earth, the effect is tiny. The gravity of our planet makes time pass 0.000000007% slower than in...
No. And the reason I can definitively say no is because I have already understood and explained how your satellites use an atomic clock. The atomic clock sends a light beam from the emitter to the beryllium atom, which has a very specific frequency, and it checks the ticks of that in like billions per second. We're not going to question the fact of if it is accurate enough to count that rapidly. It can do that. Forget about any part of that. Just don't even think about that. Don't worry about it. There doesn't need to be evidence of a discrepancy there, although there could be. right? But once you start moving any faster or slower, light, which goes at a regular speed, will have a certain amount of time to travel inside that device. The faster you go, the longer it's going to travel. Which means the ticks that you experience are going to be lengthened. It won't just go 1 second per second, it'll go and tell you that a second took a minute and a half. I don't care. That's not time dilation, that's your clock not realizing that, oh look, light actually has to go a longer distance now. Calibrate for your speed, and then you'll actually have a proper, accurate clock. But no, they don't friggin' do that somehow, and yet they think there's time dilation. That's their sick brain. I don't like it.
Deep space, far from any gravitation.
NASA's dumb.
Fields. Hardly useful for time travel, but it's a start. If you move into a really strong gravitational field, like around a black hole, the closer you get to the event horizon, the slower time passes for you. If we kidnap our twin again, they won't notice it at all. Their watch ticks as fast as it always does. But from the outside, they seem to almost stand still. Only when the twin leaves the gravitational field and comes back to Earth.
Okay, do you know why light from somewhere far away seems to take longer and longer to tell you about the same one instance? That's because the same instances in time, a very long distance away, have a bunch of light. Like if you were to try to look at a mountain while you're driving by, you don't see it moving very fast. The same thing happens. It's like, and it takes you a long time for you to experience that movement of the mountain from one side to the other side. Hardly even can notice it if you're going in a circle. Let's not say you did that. Let's say you move straight, right? Now let's say you do the same thing, but it's a star, and it's extremely distance away, and then another extreme 1,000 times more distance away. The stuff that's a billion light years away is going to be seen as moving extremely slowly compared to the stuff that's 1,000,000 miles away. You duh.
Did they realize they time traveled? Okay, so you can time travel to the future by going fast or near a black hole. This is pretty lame and has literally only downsides, except for people who want to sort of teleport into the future. And it makes building a gigantic human space empire super hard, because even if we develop the technology to go really super fast between stars...
Yeah, of course, the whole point of, oh, I'm going to move apparently faster in space. Like, what I thought they were going to do is if you're going to go faster in space, all you have to really do in order to go backwards in time is somehow to not move in space at all. And then somehow the only way you're moving is in time, but you still can't go less than not moving in space. You basically end up going what they call 0 Kelvin, and you can't go slower than that. So you can't reverse time that way, but they don't even talk about that entire postulate.
Going on a faraway journey will always mean leaving your home as you knew it forever. But now that we know all of this, there's actually a way we could use the rules of our universe to travel backwards through time. The past is a faraway land. Let's go there. So you always move through space-time at the speed of light. If you go fast through the space dimension, you slow down in the time dimension. And here we find an actual opening for backwards time travel. The theory of relativity, which may be the most solid scientific theory we know, does not forbid faster than light motion through space.
No, just like the general rules of physics. All of the laws of physics say you can't do it. We don't care if you can't if you can theorize a way to go faster than the speed of light, who cares, because you won't actually be able to make it. There are three things involved. One is the stuff that's holding you together kind of doesn't like to hold together at those speeds, and you just pancake against the back of your ship, which also pancakes. But
if you move through the space dimension faster than the speed of light, superluminal, you need to move through the time dimension with negative speed.
yeah, so basically you can go as far you want into the future. Apparently you don't only go at a certain speed, because you gotta go less than the speed of light, like 99% the speed of light, and somehow you're gonna end up in the future before you know it. Wow. And then it's like a watch kettle never boils or something. Which is not true. Watch a kettle all day. It's still gonna boil after minutes. It will boil no matter what. I believe Data made an observation about that. It's like, just turn off your clock. But I lost my train of thought.
That means you go backwards through time relative to the rest of the universe, into the past.
Yeah, no. I don't give a shit what you think, because if you go, let's say that you could move twice the speed of light. That means that you would be able to go from the Earth to the Sun in 4 minutes instead of 8. And therefore, wow, it's not time distorting. You just got there faster than light did. Which means you're going to be aware of stuff that's going to be, what is it? It took you 4 minutes, so you're going to be 4 minutes ahead of everyone else's information. Doesn't mean that you're moving backwards in time. You just have less lag. Right? The thing about looking further and further into the distance, like I said, with the millions and billions and trillions of light years away, you are experiencing 1,000-fold of the amount of time it took for the light to get to you. With trillions, it's just 1,000 times, and with millions, it's million times. With billions, it's billion times. Trillion, million, whatever. And God damn it. The point is, it's not that you're experiencing stuff and going back in time if you go faster than the speed of light. The faster you go away from this planet to a place that you've already looked at, you're now seeing it more sooner towards the recent times than we would ever experience it. If you were to go to somewhere 1 billion light years away in an instant, you would experience it as it is now. Not go back in time. You would be experiencing you wouldn't be going towards something that once was there and then is now gonna still be in that way that you saw it. You're gonna see it as it progresses, as it gets closer and closer to what is actually happening now. But it's so far away that the light doesn't get to us, so we don't know about what the hell is happening now. The lag is 1 billion years. Reducing the lag to 0, you end up at the now of there. You are at the now of here, you can be at the now of there if you go instantaneously. It doesn't mean you went backwards in time. You're just at a different point in space in the present. No time travel. Extreme speeds. Get over it.
Actually, scientists have been looking for superluminal particles and given them a name, tachyons. They could exist and would have wild properties like getting faster when they lose energy and, of course, traveling backwards in time. Finally,
The thing about tachyons is you have to prove that something in the future made a flash that happens in the past. In other words, you see it happen here, and then something else blinks far away. Never happens. Why? Because it doesn't exist.
time travel. Just like with photons, it isn't really possible to clearly define how time passes for tachyons themselves. It depends on how you move through space-time relative to them. But now, for the first time, observers could actually see tachyons literally traveling backwards in time, which means they could be used to directly interact with the past. In theory, you could use them to send messages to your past self and change all sorts of things that have already happened. Maybe with some tachyon-powered sci-fi future tech, you could see a star die before it was born, meet your great-grandparents, prevent your past self from making that one dumb mistake, win the lottery, or get eaten by dinosaurs, and create juicy time paradoxes that also kind of break the universe.
I'll be back.
It seems there are things in our universe that are impossible to mix. Unfortunately, the theory of relativity specifically forbids anything that starts out traveling slower than the speed of light to reach the speed of light, because moving faster through space requires energy, and the energy required to reach the speed of light is literally infinite. Even
Really? All you have to do is convert it. I'm not saying that's easy or wouldn't take energy to do it, but it's not that you're starting your normal things that don't move faster than the speed of light. In order to get to the speed of light, all you have to do is pull your way forward. The problem with trying to shoot something into moving faster than the speed of light is that, and literally using a rocket to move yourself faster than the speed of light, is that pushing your way there is ineffective. There's stuff moving towards you, literally. The faster you go, the more stuff you can pull towards yourself. All you have to do is make a vortex engine, and somehow you are now sucking in the stuff that is yet to be in your face faster, climbing your way up that ladder sooner, accelerating to the speed of light, no problem, as long as you can hold yourself together. As long as you can hold yourself together, which is not like physics will not, it just can't. Because again, light can only go the speed of light. The stuff that holds you together is less functioning than light. It's crazy. It's near speed of light with electrons and stuff, but it's still not light. So you can't physically hold together, even if you could accelerate yourself to the speed of light.
if you could gather all the energy of the universe, you couldn't accelerate a grain of sand to the speed of light. You can get as close as you like, but
That's false.
you can never reach it. It is possible to move at the speed of light as photons do, but they always move at the speed of light. If you move superluminally, you will always move superluminally. And sadly, so
Unfortunately, not true. So the main thing is, forget about the physics of stuff. Forget about the entire thing about how your bonds and everything else would be able to actually hold together. Pretend you have a thing that is capable of holding on, right? Again, vortex engine. You pull yourself forward. The faster you go, the more stuff you have to pull yourself forward with. Right? And all you have to do is crank that. Suddenly you're pulling yourself faster. Scramming jets and that sort that are trying to pull the stuff that they're running into and accelerate it out the back are almost getting it correctly, but they're not pulling hard enough. In order to go faster than the speed of light, you just need a significant amount of attractive force. Unfortunately, even a black hole doesn't have that much force. But
we don't have the tiniest bit of evidence that tachyons exist. While they work on paper, most scientists think they're not real. So for now, it seems that time travel into the past is strictly impossible, no matter how hard we try. The past is a faraway land, and while we can look at it in pictures and movies and our memories, it's locked away, forever outside of our reach. While this is sad, it leaves you with the most important time there is, right now, the moment where you actually exist, and a future that's yours to forge. If you want, you could even time travel to it. Luckily, shaping the future is much easier than trying to change the past. With the right knowledge and problem-solving skills, we can make the obstacles or opportunities lie ahead, which is where our friends at Brilliant come in. Brilliant will make you a better thinker and...
okay, so in conclusion, the twin paradox is a fucking lie. The entire point of being able to move faster would make you go to the future sooner. As far as you're concerned, no. A second is still a second, I don't care where you are. And as far as tachyons are concerned, that shit, I mean, moving faster than the speed of light has already been documented. There are particles that do that. We have marked them. Neutrinos. Very fast. They go right through the Earth, you don't even notice them. Neutrinos. Yeah, I don't know. But the point is that if you could hold yourself together somehow, like electromagnetic forces that you could possibly induce to hold yourself together aren't enough to hold yourself together moving faster than the speed of light. It's not the fact that you can't get there. It's the fact that you can't survive the journey. What if you could survive the journey with a miracle system? Well, that's why we bend space-time, which they don't even talk about in this video, which is most disappointing. When the fuck was this video made? Wait, where's the description for this? Wait, what? Why am I being sent to their page instead of going to the description of the video? Hello? Hello? Description, where the frick are you? Where are you, descriptor? Am I dumb? I'm dumb. There it is. Hours ago. Oh wow. You're this stupid yesterday. That's cool. You made a great animation. You wasted my time. You regurgitated information that you really should have checked. I'm disappointed. To explain, I'll probably have to make another video talking about fucking this. Twin paradox was explained 4 years ago. It's still wrong. Or what they said in the video was wrong. Sorry. You read bad papers. Oversimplified, maybe. I mean, look. So if you're not going, if you can't go through time by going fast enough, if you can't go through time by going into a gravitational eddy, such as a black hole, or near a star, or any celestial body like your planet or whatever, or going into outer space, in interstellar space where everything is empty and stuff, and somehow going in reverse direction or something. Blah 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 blah. If none of that is possible, is there a way to actually travel through time? Yeah. No. Unfortunately, no. We can't travel through time. Not even faster forward. And definitely not backwards. Unfortunately, like, this silly idea that going faster and then just going a little bit faster and you're going to suddenly go backwards in time is in itself such an outlandish idea that it would take excellent or extreme evidence to prove it or to believe in it. Yet we're talking about it. We talk about it as if it's doctrine. We've talked about it as if we talked about it for the last 70 years. Or whatever. That is not how things work. I still like the video because it's pretty, but no. The fact of all the ideas of what you can do with theoreticals and whatever else, it's like made people angry. No, you didn't make us angry, you just made us disappointed. As most parents would come to say. Travel back in time. Yeah, you just go faster than light. That's all it takes. Superman could do it. What's wrong? Why can't you do it? The video, this live stream should be over by now. Why is it still going? Answer is, I don't know. We've taken this 11-minute video and extended it to an hour. Sorry. Seriously though, there was an experiment about a plane, 2 planes, and a stationary atomic clock. They did this test in the 70s or whatever, and it was not evidence saying time dilation works. It literally disproved this video. I'm not misremembering, I'm not misunderstanding. One clock had the positive, one clock had the negative. It does not work that you go faster equals time is going to run only one bit either slower or faster. It ran both ways. They went the same speed. so is the forces. Again, time dilation is an extreme thing you need more evidence for to prove. So, friggin' Occam's razor, all that shit. Or whatever. The simplest answer must be the truth. So instead of thinking that it's time dilation, you must think that there is some force being applied that's more and has an effect on the clock when you're going against the rotation of the Earth, and less when you're going with the rotation of the Earth, or vice versa. That's why there was a plus and a minus with the clocks that were in the planes. That is the only thing. There is some amount of force, and that affects the clocks. And you have to wonder, what is that force? How does that work? If it's not based on simply speed, there was some other thing that affected like how it all works. I've explained it well enough already. The problem is I don't remember what I explained. That doesn't mean I'm wrong. Unfortunately, okay, look, I'll make a conjecture about the stupid twin paradox either tomorrow or now.